Hello, beautiful people. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how your mind, this thing that you have right here in between your both of your ears, in between your two eyes, is always trying to fool you, sabotage you, right? Make you frustrated and overwhelms you, and how your mind fools you and your heart betrays you. So I'm going to be talking about how your mind fools you and your heart betrays you, what to do about it, how to be aware of it, and how to stop letting it making you frustrated and overwhelmed and fear and sad, and how to stop being on this emotional roller coaster that is causing you to be stuck inside of your business and not achieve the goals that you want to achieve. So without further ado, let's get started. And well, yeah, just exactly how I just said. Your mind always tries to fool you and your heart tries to betray you. So what do I mean by this? What I mean by this is that that little voice, that little voice inside of you when you're working on something. You probably set some goals that you want to achieve in the next 90 days, in the next 6 months, in the next year, and you're working on it day by day by day, taking some action. But then, thoughts and ideas and things pop in your head that are not yours, right? It's like thoughts of you're not good enough, or is this even going to work, or doubts and frustration, and things that come to your mind of why everything is not going to work, reasons of why things are not going to work, of why things are bad, of why things suck, right? Thoughts that come to your mind, and you got to realize that those thoughts are not yours. Those thoughts don't belong to the authentic version of yourself that really wants to achieve those great things and those great goals you have set yourself to achieve. And you have thoughts that are trying to fool you, trying to make you detour on your journey, on the direction that you're going towards achieving your goals. These thoughts are trying to fool you into drifting into a no man's land, into a really dark place of frustration and panic and fear and pain and shame and guilt, right? Into a really dark place that is causing you to not achieve your goals, to run in circles, to keep yourself stuck over and over again, because you choose to listen to the thoughts. You choose to listen to those thoughts that are completely wrong, that are completely inaccurate, that are false, that are a lie. Those thoughts, the stories that play in your mind that cause you to not take the action necessary for you to achieve your goals. You have a goal. You know what you're supposed to be doing, but you're just not doing it. You know the action that you should be taking, but you're just not taking it, right? And the reason that you're not taking it is because of the stories, the thoughts that your mind is telling you, and your mind is trying to fool you. None of those stories, none of those thoughts are real. None of those stories, none of those thoughts are yours. They don't belong to the authentic version of yourself that wants to achieve those goals, and that wants to make an impact, and that wants to help people, and that wants to make the money, and that wants to become the best version of yourself. Those thoughts don't belong to you. Those thoughts are trying to fool you, and you got to realize it. You got to be aware in order to go through that, right? In order to be able to beat those thoughts. And then there's another problem. The other problem is that your emotions, your heart tries to betray you. Your heart betrays you. You know how you set goals. You know what you're supposed to be doing every single day. I don't know, maybe prospect or get on conversations, get on calls, go to the gym, whatever it is, right? There's actions that you gotta be taking every single day, habits that you must build every single day in and day out, for you to achieve your goals, for you to become the best version of yourself. But some days you just don't feel like it, man. You feel down, you feel frustrated, you feel sad, you feel overwhelmed. There's a lot of negative, bad feelings going inside of you that are causing you to think bad thoughts, that are causing you to take bad action, that are causing you to get bad results, which cause you to feel shitty, to feel bad feelings and emotions again, which puts you on a cycle of being frustrated and sad and mad and having fear and procrastinating and mentally masturbating and not achieving anything and just running in circles. And it's all just because you have chosen to go with what you're feeling, to feel what you feel, and and not take action, feeling shitty and not taking actions, feeling overwhelmed and frustrated because you think that nothing is working, and procrastinating, going to the next course or going to the next shiny object, right? And procrastinating and mentally masturbating and not really taking the action that you really need to take in order for you to achieve your goals, right? And it's all just because you chose to listen to your thoughts and go with what you're feeling, with your emotions, right? But you got to realize that your thoughts, your mind is trying to fool you. Your mind is constantly trying to fool you, and your heart is constantly trying to betray you, right? And if you don't have self mastery, if you're not able to master what's inside of here, and you're not able to master what's inside of here, it's going to be a really long and painful journey, my friend. It all starts with self mastery. It starts with knowing who you are, being aware of who you are, and knowing that that negative voice inside of you is not you, that those thoughts are not you, that those feelings are not you, that those feelings and stories that you have inside of you are not real. It starts with being aware and being clear of what's happening in order for you to take action in a way, for you to flip the switch and be able to take action in a way that allows you to be free and allows you to actually do what you're supposed to do in order to get to where you want to get, right? And yeah, man. So if you can't trust your mind, if you can't trust your thoughts, because your mind is always trying to fool you and your heart is always trying to betray you, then who do you trust? Who do you trust? All right, that's the question. That's the question. Who do I trust? And the answer is you trust your conscience, that little voice inside of you that is always trying to guide you. That little voice that, when you're about to do something stupid, you have like a little feeling, like a little voice inside of you telling you, no, don't do it. This is going to end up bad. And then you decide to do it anyway, and then it ends up bad, and now you feel stupid because something inside of you told you that it was going to end up bad, but you decided to do it anyway, and it ended up bad, so now you feel stupid, right? And that little voice inside of you trying to guide you is always right. It's called your conscience. And I don't know what you believe in, God or source, whatever, right? But we all have this voice. We all have this voice, this inner guidance system inside of us trying to guide us, that wants the best for us, right? That knows what's good and what's wrong. And that's where you're going to listen. But it's really hard to listen to this little voice if you have chaos in your mind, if there's a lot of frustration and anger and shame and guilt, and there's a lot of things that are keeping you back from hearing and doing what you're supposed to be doing to be connected with yourself. It's hard to be able to hear that voice if you go with what you're feeling, with the negative emotions, if you can't control what you're feeling, and if you can't separate yourself from the emotions and assess them in a logical way in order for you to learn from the emotions, because emotions are good. It's not about not feeling. It's about knowing yourself. It's about knowing those feelings and being able to reflect and look at those feelings objectively, logically, in order to be able to learn from them and see what are they trying to tell you, right? Because there's a reason why you're feeling everything that you're feeling. And it's not about not feeling. It's about feeling and being able to get the wisdom, get the lesson from those feelings, because they're trying to tell you something. That's, there's a reason why we feel. But yeah, ultimately, who you need to listen to is your conscience, that little inner voice inside of you trying to guide you. It's always right. It always knows between the good and the bad. And yeah. So if you're having problems with this, comment down below. If you're having problems between, if you're running in circles, if you're constantly frustrated and overwhelmed and scared, right, about, fear of failure, and you're setting and forgetting, you set goals, but you don't achieve them. You forget about them. You're not consistent. You know that you need to achieve something, and there's a specific thing, right? Some action that you got to be taking every single day, but you're not consistent with it. You're procrastinating. If you're having problems with that, with procrastination, mental masturbation, frustration, overwhelm, and all of that, and that is being caused by the negative thoughts and emotions and feelings that you have, right, which are causing you to be on a non-ending negative feedback loop that are not letting you achieve your goals, then comment below. Let me know about your experience. And then, so I just want to give you a small tip of how you can, go through this really quick. And it's basically just track, man. If you don't track, you will always fall back. Measure yourself, measure your progress, track yourself. So you have a goal that you want to achieve, and there's something that you got to do in order for you to achieve your goal. There's an action that you got to take again and again and again in order to achieve your goal. And a simple way for you to be able to look at what's happening logically instead of emotionally, or instead of listening to the false stories happening in your head, you can look at what's happening logically by tracking yourself. So if you decided that for 4 hours every single day you're going to be prospecting on Facebook or making calls or whatever it is that you're going to do, make sure you have a way to track that that action, right? You have your goal, and in order for you to reach your goal, you have to do this, an X amount of time. So make sure you're tracking, so that way you can how do you call this? Wait, I have the word right here. Wait. Regulates. You can regulate yourself with data instead of relying on your emotions or on false stories happening in your head. Regulate yourself with data. You have to learn to regulate yourself, your emotions, your thoughts with data, looking at real raw data that don't lie, that tell you why or why not, the why or why not behind why you haven't achieved your goals or you have achieved your goals. Have you taken the action? Have you not taken the action? Why not? That's it. Regulate yourself with data, and this is going to allow you also to not have self-fulfilling prophecies, because one of the reasons that you don't achieve your goals is because of self-fulfilling prophecies, right? So you feel bad about your goal. You feel bad because you think that you're not going to achieve it, and you self-fulfill the prophecy. You're really addicted to being right instead of getting what you want. And the reason that you're addicted to being right, and you prove yourself right, you thought that, oh, this is hard, I'm not going to be able to achieve it. You feel bad. Oh, I feel frustrated and overwhelmed, I'm not going to be able to achieve it. Then you don't achieve it, right? You prove yourself right. And instead of being addicted of proving yourself right, you must be able to regulate yourself with data, be able to track yourself, track your progress, and get what you want, right? So small tip for today. And yeah, I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.